Bartholomew and the Oobleck by Dr. Seuss. A long time ago, in the kingdom of Did, there was a year that King Derwin got angry with the sky. The king was unhappy that there were only 4 boring things that fell from the sky: rain, snow, sunshine, and fog. He growled at all of them. Bartholomew Cubbins, his page boy, tried to tell him that he couldn't change the things that fell from the sky. But the king replied by saying, "Boy, how dare you tell me what I can or cannot have? Remember, Bartholomew, I am the king." And even with more reasoning from Bartholomew, the king called on his magicians, who came to his call singing, "Shuffle, duffle, muzzle, muff, fista, wista, mista, cuff. We are men of groans and howls, mystic men who eat boiled owls. Tell us what you wish, O king. Our magic can do anything." As the king granted his request, the magicians replied by speaking one word: Oobleck. When the king asked what Oobleck was, they began to sing again. "Won't look like rain, won't look like snow, won't look like fog, that's all we know. We just can't tell you anymore. We've never made Oobleck before. We go now to our secret cave on Mystic Mountain Nicotave. There all night long we'll work for you, and you'll have Oobleck when we're through." The magicians worked for many hours, adding ingredients to their magic fire, and as they worked, a green mist began to come up from the pot. In the kingdom of Did, Bartholomew Cubbins woke from his sleep. He looked out the window and noticed strange green blobs about the size of grape seeds falling from the sky. Bartholomew tried to wake the king up at once. The king was not concerned about the Oobleck, but Bartholomew was. The king told Bartholomew to go wake the royal bell ringer and to tell the kingdom that this day was to be made a royal holiday. At first, Bartholomew didn't move. The king yelled at him, and Bartholomew ran to wake the royal bell ringer at once. As soon as Bartholomew woke the bell ringer, he tried to ring the royal holiday bell, but there was a problem. The bell was stuck. The Oobleck had covered the bell in a gooey mess. And as Bartholomew looked across the kingdom, he realized the bell was the least of their worries. Oobleck covered the trees, robins, and people too. They were stuck in an ooey gooey mess. He ran at once to wake the royal trumpeter, so that he could blast his horn and warn the people of Did to stay inside. As soon as the trumpeter was awake, he tried to blow the alarm. Again, no noise came from the trumpet. The horn was clogged with Oobleck. The trumpeter decided he was going to try to unclog his horn, and his arm got stuck inside, glued down by the Oobleck. Bartholomew raced from the mess, trying to make sense of the whole mess in his head. As he ran back to the king, he found the captain of the guards taking his grand old time combing his handsome mustache. Before Bartholomew could convince him, the captain decided he tried to eat a piece of Oobleck. Oh no! Now the captain could do nothing but blow bubbles made of Oobleck. Bartholomew ran out the door, determined to ride a horse through the kingdom, warning people to stay away from the Oobleck. As soon as he went outside, he realized he could go no further. The awful stuff was all over the place. he went back into the building. And sooner than later, the Oobleck started pouring into the building through the windows. From every bedroom, the lords and ladies were jumping into the hallways to escape the Oobleck, coming into their rooms. It was complete chaos. Everyone was running about. The royal cook was stuck in the kitchen. The royal laundress was stuck in her laundry. Even the royal fiddlers were stuck to their instruments. They were stuck by the dozens. Suddenly, Bartholomew remembered he'd never gotten to the king. Where was the king? And then Bartholomew found him stuck right in his throne where Bartholomew left him. The king bellowed at Bartholomew to fetch his magicians, but there was no use. He couldn't get out of the building, let alone to Mountain Nicotave to the magicians. The king was furious. That's when Bartholomew lost it. He began screaming at the king, telling the king it was all his fault that the Oobleck was ruining his kingdom. Bartholomew didn't stop. He told the king he needed to apologize, to say he's sorry. At first, the king refused. But when Bartholomew turned and walked out the door, the king cried out, "I'm sorry, Bartholomew Cubbins. Please come back. I'm awfully sorry. It's all my fault." And the moment the king spoke those words, those simple words, "I'm sorry," something magical happened. The Oobleck just simply, quietly melted away. Bartholomew wasn't finished. He took the old king by the sleeve and led him up the steps of the high bell towers. He put the bell rope into the king's royal hands, and the king himself rang the royal bell. The king proclaimed a brand new holiday in honor of the 4 perfect things that fall from the sky.